Hi, I'm Jason Inman.
And I'm Ashley Victoria Robinson.
And welcome to DCTV Recap, the show where we talk about the DCTV shows. And this week, since all the shows are off, they've got their mid-season finales. We got to wait a couple months. We got to wait at least a month, a couple months for some of them, and a couple months and then change for other ones. Supergirl Legends, we're looking at you.
And then there's a new one.
So we're going to do some Q&A videos to bridge the gap until we come back, starting off with this one. And we wanted to have one this week because the mid-season finales just happened, and we took a long time to go through your questions. But we have your awesome questions, and here we go. Dark As Night asked,
I like that.
Did you guys notice that the only original Legends left on the team are Sera, Mick, and Ray? Of course, Darkest Night is talking about that we had Jax Jefferson leave the show finally.
Along with Martin Stein.
Along with Martin Stein. So Firestorm is gone. So yeah, that is right. We only have Sera, Mick, and Ray now. So the Legends are like, so it's now Maya, it's Nate, and Zari.
Yeah.
So we have 6 Legends now. It's probably the smallest Legends team we had.
Which is insanity
and
to
Snart.
Think that there's 6 leads. Oh yeah, Snart's on the
Yeah,
team
yeah.
right now for like the next 5 minutes. It's great. We only have one more terrible founding legend to get rid of, and the show will be perfect. I think it's weird.
Who's your terrible founding?
I don't like Ray Palmer.
Get out of here.
I don't. People,
All right, keep
people
going.
know that if they watch this.
So
I do think it's weird that in the span of only 3 seasons, we've almost recycled an entire team. That, like, I had never thought about it that way.
And also, fun fact, what many people don't realize is that the original idea for Legends of Tomorrow was that Rip was going to get a new team every single season. This was originally supposed to be an anthology series with a brand new cast every time with the exception of Rip.
And it does, interestingly, it does sort of feel that way because the tone of each season has been so different.
Yeah.
So if someone other than Sera winds up in charge by the end of the season, it'll basically be a similar motif.
Well, let's talk about who could join the team of Legends of Tomorrow because I have a very easy pick. It's already out there everywhere on the internet.
Yeah.
Kid Flash. Kid Flash is not doing anything right now on Flash, and if you remember in the mid-season finale, they said that he was in Cambodia. I think
apropos of nothing.
Yeah. Well, remember what we did for Legends of Tomorrow last season when we added the Reverse Flash to that show and how much better that show could be? I think Kid Flash being on that show would actually really help that show, and I actually think he would fit in with the Legends pretty well. I
do too. I definitely agree with that. Also, a lot of the characters have come from Arrow, or were originally introduced in Arrow, so it'd be nice to get a little more Flash characters in the like I know Firestorm, Flash, I get it. But more than that would be great.
Mick came from Flash as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I thought they debuted on Arrow.
No.
Well, Sarah's in charge and she's from Arrow, so I retract my statement. I'd love to see Wally there because I think Wally's a fantastic. And
Wally already knows Nate, as we saw in the first episode of Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, he can make better friends than Nate on that ship. I also think it would be great because you would Legends has a pretty high diversity quotient, and it would be great if we could keep that going. That would be awesome.
All right, let's move on to the next question. Scott Weber asked, in terms of the Supergirl season finale, mid-season finale, why aren't Mon-El and his wife doing anything? They have powers, but they seem to just be sitting on the sideline. He, of course, is talking about the epic Rain versus Supergirl fight. Ashley, why aren't Mon-El and Imra doing anything? They have superpowers.
Because their contracts only allowed them to be in so much of this episode, I guess. Because they're not really great actors, I guess. Honestly, I think it's because it's one of 2 reasons. It's that time travel thing of like, well, we're now from the 31st century, so we don't want to come back and like mess things up too much. / we couldn't afford 4 superpowered characters in this fight because we're saving that budget for later on in the season.
I think it is the latter. Because you could ask the same question of J'onn J'onzz, Martian Manhunter, who is as strong.
Ad nauseum.
There have been so many fights in Supergirl where you're like, where's John?
Yeah.
He's basically Superman. Where the hell is he?
I thought that about even Crisis on Earth X.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't we bring Martian Manhunter over?
We should have had Martian Manhunter in that show.
But
I really wish.
I think each show is only allowed so many
X amount of characters.
People. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think that became a budgetary thing because you are right. And that is the problem with this show, with the exception of Legends, which I think is budgeted to do that.
Yeah.
Whereas like these other shows where it's about a singular character or only they're like we only can put so many superpowers in a scene before it just becomes so expensive. And again, like all the days that you film, production-wise, all the days you film the Rain and Supergirl fight are days that you don't have to pay Mon-El.
Yes.
Or you don't have to pay Imra, or you don't have to pay J'onn because they're not on set.
Yeah.
So that's where it becomes like production-wise. You know, there's like one less trailer to have on set. It just multiplies.
It's exponential.
Yes,
absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because they should be there.
They should. And if they're from the Legion and the Legion base themselves on Supergirl in this continuity, which I love, they should be as super as Supergirl.
Agreed. Here's a great question from Rengoku. My question is, how would you improve characters that you don't really like without writing them off? For example, Nate. Now, Ashley, I want to ask you, you can pick any character in the Arrowverse right now, but it has to be a character that you don't really like. Maybe Wild Dog.
Wild Dog's gone, and I'm hoping he's gone.
So you cannot write this character off, but you have to keep them. How would you improve them? Do you have an example?
I have different problems with different characters. Like, I'll address the Nate thing. My main problem with Nate is the actor.
Sure.
Frankly, I don't think the writing on him is horrific. I think he is supposed to serve this utilitarian purpose on the team. I even don't think making this historian in love with a character from a past decade is a horrible idea. I just don't believe anything he says, and I don't believe that he's as intelligent as the character is supposed to be. You don't have to be smart to play a smart character, but you have to be convincing. I would just recast him, and I'd honestly just leave him as he is otherwise. I just don't, sorry, Nick Zano, I'm sure you'd be great somewhere else. I don't think he's great here. My problem with characters like Wild Dog is I do think he's actually a good actor. And Rain. I do think she's a good actor. I just think the writing there is really bad.
So how would you improve Wild Dog?
So for Wild Dog, what I would do is I'd not make him a dirtbag. At this point, I kind of think the ship has sailed on that character. He's failed at being a good member of Team Arrow, and he's failed at being a father so many times. In real life, that pattern of behavior indicates that they're not...
But let's go off the question. The question is asked, how would you rewrite the character? So Wild Dog comes back for the second half of season 6. What would you write or what would you put out there to improve Wild Dog, make him more likable?
I think the only thing you can do that's going to redeem Wild Dog in my eyes is he has to die for Oliver, or he has to die for Team Arrow.
So give him a hero. So lead him towards a hero sacrifice.
Give him a hero's death. Yeah. Give him a hero's journey in this compressed, however many 10 episodes that are left that he's going to appear in. Because I don't know if there's rehabbing his character in the long run. With a character like Rain, that's a little tougher because she's only going to be around for one season, and her utility is to be evil. I'd kill her daughter, and I think that would help a lot. Do you have any strong ideas?
I'm going to pick Nate because I don't think the problem is Nate with the casting, because we have seen scenes with Nate where he has been palatable. And a lot of those scenes were, especially very early on in Legends Season 2, when it was all about him developing the plan of how to find his grandfather and doing stuff like that. He actually had a lot of good scenes. And I think the problem with Nate is you were exactly right. They don't have a utility for him right now. He came up as the historian, but they rarely use that ability of his. They more tend to lean on, he's going to be a bosom buddy nincompoop with Ray. And it's interesting because this season, season 3, I'm so glad that they've let Ray have those moments with Nate, but they're few and far between, and they've given Ray that, like, now that Martin's gone, Ray's the super scientist.
Ray has really come into his own this season.
And with the super scientist, Ray has really become a really great character. And I think with Nate, they did it briefly in the Lord of Bebo episode. I can't remember the name of that.
Bebo the God of War.
Where he knew the time period and he knew like what was going to happen. I want to see more of that. If Nate chills back and just becomes the historian, because he should be the guy that has the encyclopedic knowledge. He should be the guy that should be able to speak every version of Latin. Nate should be the guy that should be able to speak dead languages, all this stuff like that. That is how you make him an interesting character. You make him a superhero second, and you make him the goofball last, because that's the point where we know he's been set up as this super smart character, but he acts like a complete goofus.
Yeah.
And that's where I have the problems with Nate. So I would say make him more of a historian, and I think all of our problems with that character go away. You can still have the bro moments with Ray as long as you only limit it to like once an episode.
Yeah.
You know,
but it doesn't need to be an entire plot line.
Exactly. There are episodes where it's like the entire B plot is Ray and Nate being like, bup, 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 and you're like, this is too much.
Yeah.
Stop it, guys. Because we know they're geniuses. All right, Kobe Music says, do you think the Legends will do an episode involving the world of Star Trek? Maybe visit the original set with Shatner and Nimoy. I think it would create some funny moments with this team of goofballs. All I will say is this. As a giant Star Trek fan, and you too, I would love that episode because they did it with George Lucas. with Star Wars. So to me, it says, like, why can't you do it with William Shatner? Like, you probably couldn't do it on the set of Star Trek, but you could maybe meet Shatner right before he becomes Captain Kirk or something like that.
I think that depends if Shatner allows you to use his name and likeness. And
well, I don't know. You gotta,
which I think is a tougher sell than George Lucas, because Shatner is a very proud man.
Sure, I don't know. I don't know whether you have to get approval on that, because there might be a little bit. William Shatner might be in the fair use public figure.
I honestly don't know.
Because if George Lucas is, William Shatner definitely is.
I just think we're a lot less likely to get Star Trek, because especially if you watch all of the DCTV shows, they really hit you over the head with the Star Wars references to the point where it's 2 or 3 times a week and it's really tired. Please stop.
They haven't been doing that lately, though.
We had a Star Wars joke in the Flash Christmas episode.
What was it then?
I don't know, but it's when they're putting up the tinsel, because I was like, really? Like another effing Star Wars joke? You don't even own this property. We haven't had as many Star Trek references, and I honestly feel like the George Lucas episode was for the writers and not for the viewers. And I just haven't seen that same love and respect for Star Trek that we've seen for Star Wars.
I still think it's possible. I think
it's possible.
I think it's possible.
Sure.
I actually think
it's unlikely.
I'll give you the episode right here. They drop into William Shatner while he is in the Shakespeare Festival, right before he gets the Star Trek job in Canada. And it's the idea that somehow he gets on the ship and he is in the captain's chair. Like you go that far and he's like engaged, and they're like, yeah, like the episode writes itself. I think it would be amazing. I do think it's very unlikely.
It also depends on how many of those things are tied up in Discovery right now. Like, can he say engaged? Can they call him a cat?
Exactly.
The rights on all of the tea is real fuzzy too.
Exactly.
It would be awesome.
Kobe Music 108, because I love that question so much. You get this Joker little keychain Funko thing. So all you have to do is email. It's a luggage tag. Thank you. All you have to do is email me through YouTube, and I will send that out to you.
Ooh.
All right, so let's go to our next question. This is a question for Ashley.
Me?
Alex Tello says, which is your favorite Jason character impression? Mick, Snart, or Quentin Lance? I love that you put Snart in this, because I just did Snart for the very first time.
I really like your Snart one, because it's maybe the least like you. It makes me laugh. I think your Mick one, though, is probably actually my favorite.
Yeah. With a beer. Right?
Yeah.
All right.
Although I do think the Lance one is objectively the best one.
I don't like that guy.
I know you don't. Did he arrest you once?
Once. That's all you get.
Also, Jason does real crazy eyes, so he's Mick, and that I got a kick out of that.
I'll see if I can go through all three of them, but they're going to probably mix because they're very similar. So there was Roy's like, well, Captain, ask me Captain Lance here, all right?
He's the hand.
So, I let my daughter go. Mm-hmm. She said run, and I said, oh God, you're going to drive me to drinking.
And then Snart's the hardest one, because Snart, is so unlike me. But like, all right. Talk to the puppet, Mick. I can't do it as well.
You can do Leo, because I think Leo is the least like you. That's
all right,
so
that was
funny.
a great question as well. Sorry, thank you for indulging me. Aixa, I don't know how to say your name. You get the Justice League Gillette Limited Edition razor. All you have to do is message me through YouTube, and I will send that off to you. Don't expect any of these before Christmas. All right. The final question, I thought the greatest question of all of them, is going to win a big prize. Comes from Jack Waterhouse, who says, hey guys, what mid-season finale did you two enjoy the most? I personally enjoyed Legends of Tomorrow the most. Love your content. Can't wait for the shows to come back. Ashley, of the four, what was the best mid-season finale?
Definitely Legends. Like, hands down, no contest. It's one of the best episodes of Legends.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge fan of the mid-season finales, because the Christmas stuff drives me insane.
Yep. Although every once in a while they'll pop out a really good one, because I want to just real quick, a viewer did mention to us that the Flash season 1 episode, where we found out that Harrison Wells was Eobard Thawne, was their Christmas episode.
That's true.
And that's a great episode.
And that's fair. But like the Supergirl one was silly, and the Flash one was silly, and then Flash had a really good twist at the end. Like, what it was driving towards was great, but the Christmas stuff was, like, garbage. And then the Arrow's just not a great episode of Arrow. It was just kind of a middle-of-the-road episode. And Legends just really stepped above the other 3 episodes that came out this week, and I'm thrilled that Legends is the best one. How about you?
I am going to agree with you. It is Legends of Tomorrow. They had the best of me season finale. If I were to rank them all 4, I would go Legends. Number 2 is Flash.
I'd put Flash at number 2.
Because the Thinker twist was reminded me of that season 1 episode where I was like, oh, this is a really nice twist. And the only knocks for that episode was the Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
Arrow was number 3 because Arrow was I thought it was a middling Arrow episode.
There was some good stuff in there.
And then Supergirl was dead last because there were just so many.
Too much rain
and too much like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
But Legends, you're right, because... And I remember you when you saw Bebo being like, "Oh, I am not gonna like this episode."
I read the description online, and I was like, and let's be honest, it sounds stupid.
Yep.
And it was great, and that's when Legend shines, when it takes a dumb idea and elevates
it. And it makes it so much fun.
Yeah.
And we got so many great moments in that. Like, again, Damien Dark was great in that. The Bebo jokes were fun. Young Martin Stein was great.
Leo with the puppets.
Martin Stein shooting the arrow, and you hear the arrow theme, the dun dun dun. Like, that was like, you were like, oh my God, this is so good. And then Jack says goodbye, and then Constantine.
Woo.
And you're just like, when you list it out like that, it's like, bam, bam, bam. You're like, this is an amazing episode.
Yeah.
And it's about a Furby. That's great.
It's Jingle All the Way.
Yeah,
that's what this is.
So, Jack, I agree with you. Legends is the best. Thank you so much for that question. And because I think you gave us the best question of anybody out there, you're going to get the Blu-ray copy of Gotham Season 3. All you got to do is message me through YouTube, and I will send it out to you. Thank you guys so much for watching. So go down in the comments and leave us more questions for us to answer in future DCTV videos. And while you're down there, click subscribe.
And why not click on one of the other videos popping up on the screen? And for more exclusive geeky content, go to patreon.com/Jawiin.
Stick around the channel. We have plenty more videos. See you later, Super Friends.